No surprise, Brian Branch suspended for Monday night.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome in a non-victory Monday, a rare non-victory Monday here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Locked On Lions, Matt Dery with you on a Monday, October 13th into Tuesday, October 14th. Welcome in. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Locked On Lions for today, this Monday, following the Lions' loss to the Chiefs, is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward, Mazda Move and Be Moved. Big news of the day is after the Lions lost to the Chiefs last night, 30-17 on Sunday Night Football. Not a surprise, Lions safety Brian Branch has indeed been suspended by the NFL for one game for his shoving to the grill of Juju Smith-Schuster following last night's loss to the Chiefs. This was premeditated. This was planned. Watch the film. Watch all the different angles of this. Brian Branch, right after the final kneel down, was walking right towards Smith-Schuster, the Chiefs wide receiver, wanted no part of Patrick Mahomes or Pacheco or anybody else trying to shake his hand. He was going right after Schuster to cold cock him in the face. And today, the league has decided to suspend him. We will get into that momentarily. We got the PFF grades. Zadarius Smith has retired. And I have more on last night's game coming up right here on this Monday edition of Locked On Lions. Colton Pouncey from The Athletic, hoping to land him tomorrow and talk to him on the show. And then, of course, we got the crossover Thursday, getting ready for Lions and Bucks Monday night. Lions favored, by the way, in that game, heading into a contest with Tampa where the Bucks are 5-1. But look, we talked about it last night on the show, and I'll talk about it again today. Brian Branch deserved to be suspended. And I don't care if Juju Smith-Schuster cheap shotted him with an illegal block to the back following the play earlier in the game. There absolutely was a cheap shot. Smith-Schuster should have been flagged. Yes, there were a couple of flags that the referees missed. Yes, the officials weren't great last night. That's not why the Lions lost the game, and that's not why Brian Branch is being suspended. Period. Let's talk about Brian Branch's history. I love Brian Branch, the player, but this crap has got to stop. Guy was fined 7 times last year. Took a tight end, I'm trying to remember which player it was earlier in the year. He grabbed the guy's helmet and threw it down. He got ejected in last year's Green Bay game for his helmet-to-helmet stuff. He at times is a loose cannon. And what he did last night was Bush League. And Dan Campbell, after the game, said so. Said it's unacceptable. Today, Vice President of Football Operations, John Runyon, quote, wrote a letter to Brian Branch telling him he's been suspended. Your aggressive non-football act was entirely unwarranted, posed a serious risk of injury, and clearly violated the standards of conduct and sportsmanship expected of NFL players. Your conduct reflected poorly on the NFL and has no place in our game. End quote. Some of you guys and some people in the media, they know who they are. Oh, but he got cheap shotted. He's frustrated. Stop. Why do we have to justify everything? Brian Branch is a heck of a player, but you can't do that. It's against the rules. You can't go up to a player after a game who's trying to shake your hand and punch him in the face or in the helmet. Can't do that. When you've got a history of this stuff and you got a reputation, this is what happens. Poor actions lead to consequences. Oh, but Dery, oh, but Diesel, oh, but Matt, he got cheap shotted. He was frustrated. No, they always get the second guy. I'm not justifying what the referees did last night. And I know there's plenty of fans, we talked about it last night, that are still livid with the officiating last night and the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs committed 0 penalties. They got called for 1. Lions declined it. So on the stat sheet, No penalties. That's ridiculous. It's not why the Lions lost the game, and it's not why Brian Branch is being suspended. It's a huge loss for this defense. They need Brian Branch on the field. He's a torpedo out there. He's an awesome player. He could play nickel corner. He could play safety. He does it all. He's a top 5 safety in this league. He's a tremendous football player. But now is the time here on October 13th for him to, unfortunately, eat a little bit of humble pie and clean up the crap. It's got to be cleaned up. He is too good of a player to have this reputation. And, oh, by the way, his actions have led the Lions to go into a game on Monday night that they need against Tampa Bay, against the best team right now in the NFC, and he's not going to be there. That's letting your teammates down. Oh, but, stop. Cut it out. He did that. He had that planned. It's all over social media. Watch that on Twitter. Somebody's got it. I forgot who it was. It was a fan. Has the final kneel down and watch Brian Branch walk right over to him and pop him in the face. Don't just walk off the field, man. Say after the game, hey, we got mistreated. I got cheap. He did get cheap shotted. Juju Smith-Schuster cheap shotted Brian Branch on a play that was a running play where Branch came in and Smith-Schuster smashed him. Blindside block, should have been a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct call. The refs missed it. Horrible miss by the officials. Horrible. But that doesn't justify number 32 punching him in the face after the game and then starting a brawl. Sorry. I don't play that. Now the Lions are going to go into Monday night's game against Tampa Bay with Thomas Harper or Avonte Maddox or somebody else at safety, and that's a big drop-off. And Kirby Joseph is obviously not 100%, and you're facing the guy this weekend that many are calling the MVP of the league right now, this season, in Baker Mayfield, and a Bucs team that is, they're rolling right now, playing great. They've got a ton of injuries, and Egbuka's, hamstring, and Godwin's been out. Mike Evans been out. Bucky Irving's been out. They got a lot of guys out, but somehow Baker Mayfield has done a great job. But this is not good. Not a good situation when you lose a player of that caliber like Brian Branch in a game like this. But you pay the piper. This is the result. And the league didn't watch a lot of video on this and wait a couple days. They suspended him today. They weren't waiting around. Branch was, this according to Dave Burkett of the Free Press, Branch was fined 7 times last year and has been fined 3 times this year for unsportsmanlike conduct, unnecessary roughness type infractions before the suspension. He can appeal. The appeal will be heard by either Derek Brooks, Ramon Foster, or Jordy Nelson. Derek Brooks, the former Buck. Yeah, that'll go well. Jordy Nelson, the former Packer. Hopefully it's Ramon Foster. How do you appeal this? Everybody saw it. I mean, I guess you could. Hey, this is unfair. I know I've been fined a bunch of times, and man, that was just a dumb move. But Dan Campbell said it. That's not us. He apologized to the Chiefs and Andy Reid for Branch. And even after the game last night, when Brian Branch was asked about it, he's like, yeah, I made a little, what was the verbiage he used? A little mistake. It's like, it's not little, man. Then he tried to justify it. I got cheap shotted. Okay. That doesn't mean after the game, you got to go for blood here. The officiating last night wasn't good, but it didn't cost them the game. The Lions did not play well last night, folks. Whether there were penalties or not on Kansas City, Hollywood Brown was open by 10 yards in the end zone. What about the missed tackles? What about the poor punts? What about the poor kick returns? What about Amon-Ra dropping the ball on 4th down? Was it the ref's fault? St. Brown said it after the game. I got to make that catch. That was a huge play in that game. Now, did the Lions get screwed on their first touchdown? I thought so, yes. Oh, we're throwing flags now 3 minutes later? Come on. I didn't like that. Two things can be right at once. The Lions got outplayed and outpushed and shoved and out physical, but the officiating wasn't great. Brian Branch suspended, might appeal. We'll see. All right. Coming up next, some other observations I had from last night. There's one guy in the Lions that has got to step up and play better. We got the PFF grades as well. Pro Football Focus graded out the Lions top 5 on offense and defense. We'll tell you about that. Do all of that coming up next right here on a Monday, Locked on Lions. And Locked on Lions for today, brought to you by Mizzen and Main. You know the saying, look good, feel good. The problem is that most dress clothes only check one of those boxes. They look sharp but feel stiff, hot, and high maintenance. That's why there's Mizzen and Main. Mizzen and Main makes classic menswear with performance fabric, so it's effortless to look sharp and feel comfortable. They actually invented the performance fabric dress shirt over 10 years ago, and they've perfected it ever since. All right. If you haven't worn Mizzen and Main before, you got to check it out. Their shirts are stretchy, moisture wicking, wrinkle resistant, and machine washable, no ironing, and no dry cleaning. It's like the feel of athletic wear, but the look of professional menswear. It's a men's league. Right now, Mizzen and Main is offering our listeners 20% off your first purchase at mizzenandmain.com with promo code LOCKEDONNFL20. That's Mizzen, spelled MIZZEN, and Main, MAIN.com, promo code LOCKEDONNFL20 for 20% off. And if you'd rather shop in person, you can find Mizzen and Main stores in select states. And a Locked on Lions for today as well, as I mentioned before, brought to you by our friends at Mazda. Only I can sit here and not find the Mazda graphic. There it is. Mazda's moving the game forward, folks. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward was last night. Lions Chiefs, Detroit down 20-10, and Jared Goff somehow finds Sam Laporta in the back of the end zone. An unbelievable throw, an even better catch as he got both feet down on that back line to get the Lions to within 3 last night. Just a great play, great concentration by Sam Laporta. And that's a guy that's starting to play really good football right now. And it kept the Lions in the game and kept them moving forward. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Matt Dery back with you. It is a Monday edition of Locked on Lions. Thanks again for making us your first listen, everybody. Checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Tomorrow, hopefully Colton Pouncey joins us. Wednesday, I want to do a call of the day. I want to hear from the listeners. I want it to be good. Give me a good one. Leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/Dery, DERY podcast page. Leave us a voicemail about a minute or less, and we will play the best installment coming up on Wednesday's show right here on Locked on Lions. One of our everyday listeners is out there still battling a foot and ankle injury that he got, and he's had surgery and he's working on it. Chauncey D. Williamson. Chauncey loves his Lions. Chauncey, I hope you're feeling better, my friend. And you're buttering up that foot of yours. And I hope to see Chauncey on Monday night when I head down to Ford Field for Lions and Bucks. All right, again, big news of the day. Brian Branch has been suspended. So he's not going to play Monday night unless he appeals it, which I don't think it's going to. Everybody saw it. It was in broad day. There's 17 camera angles of him shoving Smith-Schuster down. One gamer. Hopefully Branch has learned his lesson. We'll be back for the Minnesota game on November the 2nd. Lions at 4-2, still in good shape. Look, didn't play well last night. Wasn't a good performance. Didn't love the play calling. I thought everything was dink and dunk, and they didn't throw the ball downfield enough last night. And I want to talk about the PFF grades, which we'll get to momentarily. But the Lions have got to get better play out of their first round pick. Tyleik Williams is a young player. And if the Lions get Aleem McNeil back this week against Tampa, you'll have DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil out there starting together, and that will be a big boost to the defensive line. Williams hasn't been horrible, but his name was not called much at all in last night's loss to Kansas City. And in looking at the PFF grades, I'll give you a little preview. Tyleik had the fifth worst grade on the team, a 54.1. Through 6 games here this season, Tyleik Williams' PFF grade overall is a 51.9, which out of 187 defensive tackles graded out, he is at 130th. Run defense grade is a 44.2. That is 161 out of 187. His pass rush grade, not bad, 64.6, a 62 out of 187. He's got 3 solo tackles this year, no sacks, 2 assists. Need more out of the Lions' first-round pick out of Ohio State. And look, I know he was taken late in the first round. I know he had some injury stuff that was going on with him during training camp and in the preseason, but the Lions must get better play out of Tyleik Williams, who's taken in the first round for a reason, and just haven't heard his name called enough the last couple of weeks. He's had some pass deflections, which has been good. Against the pass, he's put his big paw up and knocked some balls down. That's been solid. But hopefully with the addition of Aleem McNeil, maybe Tyleik gets a little bit of a breather and less snaps, comes in off the bench and is improving. But that was one guy I watched a lot of on film last night that just got pushed around, did not play well at all. All right, so the Lions lost last night 30-17. Kansas City needed it. They got it. And look, you go back to the drawing board. You lost a football game. You're 4-2. And I said last night they were tied with Green Bay. I was wrong. Green Bay, of course, is 4-1-1. But Green Bay beat Cincinnati yesterday. By the way, did anybody see Mike Tomlin take a shot at Browns GM Andrew Berry today? Called out Andrew Berry by name. It's like, what is it? Andrew Berry must know more than I do. Trading Joe Flacco within the division 4 weeks ago. He thought he was the starting quarterback for his team and then trades him within the division. It was like, ooh, a little bit of shots fired there. I kind of enjoyed that. All right, PFF grades from last night's loss to the Chiefs. You had to have played at least 10 snaps for me to make you eligible for this list. On defense, the top 5 performers, according to Pro Football Focus, in the loss to Kansas City. 5th highest defensive grade, Gaines Media Zone, Alex Anzalone at 65.2. Shout out to Robert Banker of Gaines Media. Al-Qadim Muhammad, 65.4, 4th highest. Just 17 snaps, though, for Muhammad. Amik Robertson played every defensive snap last night, 69.3. He's tremendous. I'm a big Amik fan. Roy Lopez, 77.1, 2nd highest grade on the team. And Thomas Harper, 10 snaps at free safety, 87.5. Those are your top 5. Bottom 5, worst on the team on defense last night. 5th lowest grade, we told you, was actually 5th lowest was Rock Yassin, 57.9. Tyleik Williams, 54.1. Jack Campbell, lowest grade of the year, 49.0. Patrick O'Connor, 39. And Kirby Joseph, in 53 snaps, a 32.6 grade. Kirby Joseph's playing on one leg. His knee just is not right, and they've got to get him healthy for this week. But did not have a good grade or performance in last night's game. On offense, let's go bottom 5 on offense. First, Jahmyr Gibbs, 61.9. Dan Skipper, 56.7. Amon-Ra St. Brown, his lowest grade of the year, 56.1. Brock Wright, who PFF just does not think is good, 48.3 for Brocktober. And Isaac Tesla, a 46th grade, lowest on offense. Highest graded Lions on offense. 5th highest, Penei Sewell, 78.3 grade. Jared Goff finished with an 80.6. Batting 3rd, Jamison Williams, 84.0. grade. A good night for J-Mo. He played well. Hopefully this is the start of something good for him. Christian Mahogany at left guard graded out well, 85.1. Highest graded Lion on offense last night. Sam Laporta, tight end, caught a touchdown pass I talked about before. A 90.4 grade for Laporta. Those are your top 5 and bottom 5 Lions from today, or from last night, in their 30-17 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, coming up next, Zadarius Smith. All the hubbub, all the hullabaloo, all the talk, all offseason. Lions got to sign Zadarius Smith. They got to bring Z Smith back, blah, 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 blah. Zadarius Smith has retired. Retired? Yes, he did. Zadarius Smith has retired from football. We'll tell you about that coming up next, right here on Locked On Lions. And Locked On Lions for this Monday, brought to you by our friends at Supply House. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, get your crew moving forward with Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Need parts fast for a project? Supply House has next-day delivery, and it's a game changer. The part finder tools and 3D schematics can save you hours on jobs where every detail matters. Join the free Trademaster program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHNFL5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service. And we're also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. NFL season is here. We know that. We're into week number 7, and FanDuel has an offer that you do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5. That's it. And if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Great thing about FanDuel is all of the prop bets that you can get in on. There's two Monday night games tonight, including we get to hate, watch, and root against the Chicago Bears. Jake Moody's kicking for the Bears tonight. Oh, boy. But anyway, you can do player props. You can do parlays, even follow the live lines during games. Makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Was not a good weekend for the local teams. Lions lost. Michigan looked bad at USC. Michigan State, what a disaster they were. And, of course, the Tiger season has come to an end. So not a great weekend for local sports. But today, on Canadian Thanksgiving, your Detroit Red Wings, DRW, hashtag LGRW, back-to-back wins over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boy, Leafs lunch tomorrow is going to be ugly. Wings, couple of dubs. I caught the end of that game today. Or Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond are great. That is a great broadcast. So Ken was like bored. It was like the Wings got outshot like 35-15, yet they won. It was pretty cool. So congrats to the Wings. Good to always beat Toronto on a Canadian Thanksgiving. All right, big news of the day today, and it was a little bit surprising, but yes, Zadarius Smith has retired. He signed with the Eagles. We were all upset. Why couldn't the Lions have picked him up? Veteran defensive end that, of course, spent last year in Detroit. His girlfriend, or alleged girlfriend still, Cash Doll, Detroit rapper. But yet, after just 5 games in Philly, Smith put out on his Instagram that he's going to retire. Quote, I knew this day would come, but now that it's here, I'm feeling so many emotions I have never expected. He was productive too. 5 games with the Eagles. He had 1.5 sacks, 3 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for a loss, but he's just done. He's just decided to retire. And look, when you get to 32, 33, and you've played and had such a pretty darn good career, Smith, of course, playing for Green Bay, Minnesota, Cleveland, the Lions, and now the Eagles. But it's a grind playing NFL football. Not that I would know, but you know what I mean? Like, I've talked to players. It's such a physical game, the toll on your body, the emotional side, everything else. And he must have just maybe woken up yesterday or the other day. Of course, the Eagles played on Thursday night and just said, that's it for me. So we spent so much time this offseason talking about how we thought that the Lions were going to bring Zadarius back, and it was just a money situation, and the Lions cut him originally to save money under the cap. And the Eagles gave him a one-year deal with incentives and bonuses, could have made up to $9 million. But after 5 games there, it's just his heart wasn't in it anymore, and he decides to call it quits. So maybe there was some of that reasoning that the Lions kind of felt like, is this guy serious enough about coming back and playing? And he ends up going to Philly. And now the Eagles are in the market for another edge rusher. And, the Lions are always looking around, certainly trying to find – Brad Holmes always trying to, find players. So Za'Darius Smith, we wish him well, but kind of a wild story here that after just 5 games with the Eagles and signing right before the season, or actually I think after week 1 he signed, he has decided to retire. All right, so the Lions get the Bucs coming up on Monday. Plenty to discuss. Colton Pouncey, who covers the Lions, of course, they're a fine beat writer for theathletic.com. We're chasing him down to get him on tomorrow's show. And we got to talk about, too, Thomas Harper is going to get a lot of reps in practice this week, as is Avonte Maddox. Harper played pretty well last night, had that pass breakup. Somebody's going to have to step up in the absence of Brian Branch. Unless he appeals and wins his appeal, I just don't see how that's going to happen. But thanks for making us your first listen, everybody, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Lions at 4-2. Following last night's loss to the Chiefs, we'll talk more about what's coming up this week tomorrow.